The Lakers 44. McAdoo finds an opening and scores inside. McAdoo has 15 points. Worthy with 20 leads the Lakers. Larry Bird has 27 for Boston.
A little outside, they're going to press 1-3-1 trap, try to take Boston out of their offense, catch them unawares.
Bird loses it to Michael Cooper. 3-on-3. Celtics are back on defense. Magic Johnson going in against Bird, and McAdoo tips it in. So Bob McAdoo has hit 2 big baskets for the Lakers, and they're down to 7-point deficit. 3 minutes gone by here in the 4th period. Bird. He didn't have that outside shot in the first 3.5 games of the series.
Well, the strategy had him going inside to play off the boards more. They needed his outside shooting, and Cooper's not playing him anymore.
8 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock. James Worthy. Worthy and McAdoo have to be keeping the Lakers close with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as he saw him on the bench. Parrish. Turnaround. The Lakers and Celtics are matching baskets right now. Boston's lead is 9. Lakers staying close enough. But I think the running game is dissolved, at least from LA's standpoint.
They're not running. They're going to their main man now, James Worthy.
He missed that shot. Danny Ainge, who has come in place of Scott Wedman, tried to force the pass. Worthy knocks it back to Cooper, who loses his footing. And here come the Celtics. Ainge. Turnovers at either end. Dennis Johnson had the shot. Decided to go in instead. Parrish the rebound. McHale tips it in. And the basket counts. And the Celtics are up by 11, just as they were after the 3rd period. And now we have 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the 4th period of Game 5. Magic Johnson misses. And a foul against the Lakers. And this place is rocking. Jamal Wilkes commits the foul.
Here is a real tough shot by Parrish, but watch McHale. The ball was off the rim, coming off. Good tip.
Larry Bird gets a hand. He scored 29 points, goes out of the ball game. Maxwell replaces him. The basket counts, and a foul. The scene tells the story. Dennis Johnson with 21 points. Now 22. Michael Cooper has 5 personal fouls. And the Celtics have opened up their biggest lead of the ball game at 14. Kareem fighting back. And the Lakers maintain possession.
Yeah, that shot Dennis Johnson made is the type of shot that is the sword in the heart. A shot you never expect them to make.
7 minutes remaining, 4th period. Their half-court offense, as you said so many times, is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and there's no secret they want to go to him now. He has 19 points.
Parrish has to deny him the good position down low, and the rest of the Celtics can't let the ball get in the corner. That's the best place to feed him.
And Worthy is called for a foul on Maxwell. 14 foul, number 4 against the Lakers. One more and they're in the penalty. And 4 fouls against James Worthy. In the Boston Garden sauna, but the Boston Celtics are cool and comfortable. As we look at the foul situation, McHale has been sitting with 5 for a long time. Michael Cooper has 5, and you see the rest with 4 personal fouls. the leading scorers in the ball game. Larry Bird is 29. Dennis Johnson 22 for Boston. James Worthy 22, and that man Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has 19. But the two big guns for the Lakers, the two men they depend upon, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson, are really having trouble shooting tonight. Between them, they are shooting 10 for 34, Tom.
You know, when you're that big like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the heat destroys your mobility. It destroys your timing. And he's really out of sync when he's shooting the shot. Sometimes he's stumbling over his own feet, and he's much more graceful player than that.
102-90. At halftime, the Celtics led by 2. They've come out strong in the third period, kept it up here in the fourth, and increased their lead. Byron Scott on Dennis Johnson. Double team on McHale. Dennis Johnson off the mark. Good defense by Scott. It'll be LA ball. So they got Worthy and Kareem. They're two Laker aces on the half-court offense in there. Magic Johnson going in. And they call a foul, I believe, on Maxwell, who feels he had position. Fourth foul on Maxwell. And the third team foul on Boston.
Well, maybe he didn't have his feet together, but he's standing there. And, wow. Maxwell doesn't believe it.
So Magic Johnson will go to the line. He is 2 for 4 from the free throw line. He missed the 2 big free throws. In game number 4 as Larry Bird comes in. And Maxwell goes out. So right now the Celtics have their best front line of Parrish, Bird, and McHale in there. The three of them combined for 20 of the Celtics' 27 offensive rebounds in Wednesday's game.
Well, Bird had a nice long rest. Casey made a nice move keeping him out. You ought to be able to really direct the situation here in the last 19.
102-92, 10-point lead. What do the Lakers have to do here?
Well, they ain't going to have to play their game on defense right now, is try and stop McHale, who's got Rambis on him. And when he has been on track in the last 2 ball games, but he has not been able to get the shots off. And the foul trouble today has hindered him a little bit.
You mean the whole thing for the Lakers is to stop McHale?
Right now, Parrish has got it by Kareem, but I think they're going to work on Rambis or Bird on the outside against Worthy.
McHale has 14 points. Lakers are over the limit on Magic Johnson's second foul.
Coming up the court now, the Lakers have to really, each time, come up the court and get a good shot. Kareem hasn't been responding. Maybe the best place to go is to Worthy.
Scott gets it to Kareem. Byron Scott. This is Bird. 17 rebounds for Larry Bird. He had 21 rebounds Wednesday night in Game 5. And he's shooting outside now. Going for the steal, knocked Byron Scott out of bounds. 31 points for Larry Bird as he did it at both ends of the floor.
Larry Bird goes strong to the boards. They need the rebound. Give him one shot, the Celtics, and watch him come up after the rebound and just bang, Scott out of bounds. For a man that's not supposed to be fast, he thinks ahead of you 4 steps, and he makes up for that slow foot speed.
Larry Bird with 4 personal fouls now, and the Celtics with 14 fouls. 106-92, 14-point lead, and the Celtics with 5.5 minutes to go.
It's important for the Celtics now not to change the pace, to make sure that they get maybe perhaps an easy one on a fast break.
And a foul inside. The foul is on McAdoo, his first. Why are the Celtics doing so well offensively against the Lakers? What adjustments must the Lakers make?
Well, they're out hustling them up the court right now. I think we're seeing the full effect of some of those people getting tired. Kareem, He's not even on the free throw line now. They got him up the other end of the court to make it easier for him. But the Celtics are at home, and under these conditions, that's an added impetus to run a little harder. Plus, they know if they lose this one, going out to L.A., it's going to be a tough game out there.
What about if L.A. loses this ball game after seemingly throwing away what looked like 2 victories?
Well, we've seen the teams come back from adversity, and I think the Lakers certainly have that in their character to pick it up and come back.
15-point lead for Boston. 5:15 to go. McAdoo. Here's Worthy. Open is McAdoo, and he's fouled. McAdoo will go to the line and shoot. Here's the rebound story. The Boston Celtics, who live by the rebounds, particularly the offensive boards. But that's 10-1 in this period alone. They have out-rebounded the Lakers in every game the teams have played, with the exception of the 33-point rout by the Lakers in game number 3 Sunday.
I tell you, it isn't for lack of this man. He's been banging on the boards as best as he can. He's not a superior blockout man. He doesn't have the body strength, but he's worked them hard.
1 out of 2 for McAdoo with 5 minutes to play. 107-93. The Boston Celtics and the LA Lakers tied 2-2 as McAdoo hits McHale, and McHale will go to the line.
You know, the one area that the Lakers may be lacking is on that rebound department from James Worthy.
Want to remind you, game number 6 Sunday. Someone will have a 3-2 lead at the Forum. 3:30 Eastern time, and right now the Boston Celtics are on their way. Story in the 4th period, under 5 minutes to go. Magic Johnson and the Lakers have an uphill climb, but who would have thought, whether it's humidity, heat, whatever you want to call it, Tom, that the Boston Celtics, who rely on inside play and don't run nearly as fast and aren't as quick as the Lakers, have made the Lakers into a team running in molasses, while the Celtics show very little effect in playing their game.
I think Boston only took the fast breaks that were there, and I think L.A. really punished themselves by trying to force the pace of the game, make it an upbeat ball game, and they paid the price.
15-point lead. McHale going for point number 17. Larry Bird with 31. Dennis Johnson 22. McHale 17 are the 3 top scorers. Lakers trying to get back. They've been getting the ball inside, but Worthy gets it knocked away by Dennis Johnson. And the Lakers are really wilting now with nearly 4.5 minutes remaining. 16-point lead. Bird. Kareem fighting, and a foul called against Kareem, apparently. Abdul-Jabbar with his 2nd foul. Quinn Buckner likes what he sees as he looks up at the scoreboard. Larry Bird on the other end.
Watch this steal. Dennis Johnson comes inside. Worthy kind of mishandles it, and as DJ knocks it away, it's picked up by McHale. DJ quick to double, and it was only because Worthy mishandled the ball. Usually he's up and away before anybody can double him. You know, when you can smell victory, you put all the extraneous things aside. Heat, cold, rain. You know, some of these buildings just a leak.
Yeah, but the Los Angeles Lakers smelled victory twice in games 2 and 4 and didn't do that.
Yes, I think they have, and they blew 2 golden opportunities.
Kareem out to Cooper, going for 3 points. He's hit 2 of them so far. That one wasn't close, and it's Boston ball. 4 minutes and 13 seconds, and a very solemn Pat Riley looking on. Casey Jones very quietly. His team won 62 games, and a lot of people wrote the Boston Celtics off when they were down 2 games to 1, but they didn't. The basket by Bird is good, and there's a foul. It's on Worthy, number 4.
This is a spectacular move by supposedly a slow man. He takes what Worthy gave him and goes right by him. I'll tell you, Worthy out there trying to stop his outside shot. Bird took advantage of him.
Larry Bird has 34 points and 17 rebounds. Nader. And Nader is fouled. The Boston Celtics, as you see, Larry Spriggs come into the ball game. Spriggs, who got to play in Game 3 in the 33-point rout, is into the ball game, but the Laker bench tells the whole story. The Boston Celtics went into their familiar shell, Tommy Heinsohn, when they were down 2-1. They pointed the finger at everyone and said, it's us against the world.
You know what they do, Dick? They really don't point the finger at everybody. They point the finger at themselves. And they say, what am I doing or not doing to help win, or am I causing the losses? That's kind of an unusual atmosphere. But when they close the doors, they make everybody in the world enemies, and they certainly did it. The press was mad at them out there in L.A., but nobody would talk to them.
Nader with the free throws, under 4 minutes to play, and it's a style used by Red Auerbach and the Boston Celtics, who have won 14 world championships, more than any other team. And they're going to call a foul. It'll be against Boston, and Kevin McHale is fouled out of the ball game. So Kevin McHale has fouled out of the ball game, having scored 19 points and gets a hand.
Didn't play many minutes, but he made a very solid contribution when he was in there.
.36 remain. It's 114 to 95. 19-point lead. Celtics winning going away here. Nader misses the hook, and Maxwell has it. And I think as time wears down, Tom, the question is going to be, for the first time in the series, how the Boston Celtics are going to handle prosperity as they go into Game 6 in Los Angeles.
That well could be the question. But what I really think is in that Game 4, they found a way to untrack the inside people of this game. And Pat Riley didn't answer it, to tell you the truth.
Maxwell with the offensive foul, number 5 on Maxwell. 3 minutes to go. It might have been more than that, Tom. Rebound Maxwell. I think a lot of it had to do with the Celtics asserting themselves physically, and I think it did have an effect on the Lakers.
Well, they were gang rebounding the Celtics 5-on-3, and with that new Casey Jones strategy, it pitted the 3 Celtics against 3 Lakers, and they got the bigger bodies, the Celtics.
Dennis Johnson. Parrish gets it out, new clock. Earvin Magic Johnson, tonight he has scored 10 points.
And Robert Parrish is down.
Parrish.
I think he's got a cramp.
Parrish is down, and a timeout. Casey Jones, Thomas Silva, the Celtic team possession going over. While we have a moment, want to remind you that Game 6 will be played Sunday at the Forum in Los Angeles. 3:30 Eastern time will be with you, and it'll be up to the Lakers on their home court to try to even this best-of-7 series and send the series into a 7th and deciding game Tuesday night in Boston. But we'll be back to the Garden in just a moment. Robert Parrish, 13 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 block shots. His best work was off the boards and on defense today. Suffered that cramp. And with Kite in there, Greg Kite, the rookie, Parrish may be sitting down. We'll wait and see. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Lakers and Pat Riley have some things to think about on the 6-hour flight tomorrow back to the West Coast for game number 6 Sunday. And what do you think he may be thinking about to retaliate and get back and tie this series?
I think what he really has to do is try and get back some of that rebounding that he had in the big blowout game that showed the strength of this team. But it was only because of the rebounding they scored the way they did.
Dennis Johnson scored 22 points, the same amount he scored in game number 4. So you think the boards are the big thing?
Well, you've got to take the offensive boards away from the Celtics so you can trigger your fast break.
Here's Kite. The rookie from Brigham Young gets his first point. Two minutes to go. 116-95. Byron Scott hits the jump shot. But the Celtics had dominated the offensive board throughout the series.
Until that third game in the blowout. And the Lakers played perfect lockout defense on the boards. And Magic came in, and so did Worthy. And that's what got that fast break going.
Larry Spriggs fouls ML Carr. Before the shot, no basket. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 19 points. So for the first time in this World Championship Series, the Celtics have decisively outplayed the Lakers as Cedric Maxwell leaves the game and exchanges high fives with Kevin McHale.
Maxwell in the locker room before this series started, Dick, wrote on the blackboard, "Well, boys, it's $45,000. I need a car, I need a trip, and I need a boat."
He ought to get all of those things. Celtics have out-rebounded the Lakers 50-33. I would think that Pat Riley's going to tell his team, you remember how aggressive you were in the wins? Well, you're going to have to come out that way again, like you did in games 1 and 3.
Well, I think the Celtics strategy the first couple of games was the wrong way to try to beat the Lakers. Now they found the way, and the Lakers know they're in a tough battle. They've got to answer with something coming back.
And part of that was the fact that the Celtics started to hit their outside shots as Nader hits the hook. If the Celtics hadn't hit the outside shots, it wouldn't have meant anything.
Dennis Johnson hitting those shots and Bird pulling outside, moved, opened up the painted area.
Danny Ainge to Kite, blocked by Larry Spriggs. Carlos Clark, who was the 91st player picked in the draft, the 4th round out of Ole Miss, is in the game. Quinn Buckner fires away. And Spriggs. McGee throws it behind him. And here's Danny Ainge ahead to Carr. It's up to 20 now. The Boston Celtics, who have been trailing throughout this series, 1-0, 2-1, will take a 3-2 lead to LA on Sunday. And I think, as we have said, Pat Riley has to come up with a way. For the first time in the series, Pat Riley and the Lakers have to come up with something.
Well, they've shown that great speed all season long, and it looked so great on that Sunday when they blew out the Celtics. But if you rebound the way Boston does, that's awfully difficult to keep it coming consistently. Maybe he'll play some of the bigger players. Maybe Kupchak will play a little bit. Some of the beefy guys. Worthy, one of the problems with Worthy, as great as he is, he's not really a dominating rebounder on a defensive board, particularly the way Pat Riley was playing him in the big guard spot.
Well, whatever worked early worked for the Lakers. They had outplayed the Celtics in the first 4 games. 119-101. You saw Mitch Kupchak, who has come back valiantly from 2 knee operations. And now Spriggs and Carr started to spar a little bit. Earl Strom wants Carr to keep going to the other side. I would think the Lakers should be coming out steaming Sunday, wouldn't you?
Well, whenever you get pummeled, we got the same question again, Dick. Does the loser get too down, which I doubt the Lakers will? Will the winners get too high and complacent? And that is the question right now for the Celtics. They got to come out and play tough out in L.A. I don't think there's any question that the Lakers will respond on Sunday. Here they come on the left side. The great debate.
That's about all it was.
Yeah, the great debate. Nobody wants to pay a couple of grand right now when the game is in the bag.
32 seconds remaining. 121-101. Larry Bird, 34 points. Spriggs control. High score in the ball game. Larry Spriggs with a good move. Leading scorer for the Lakers, James Worthy with 22. And the crowd begins to give the Celtics a standing ovation as they run down the last seconds of the game. And it was the Boston Celtics defense which held the Los Angeles Lakers to 44% shooting, their lowest of the playoffs. And the Boston Celtics have, in resounding fashion, with a big second half, have trounced the Los Angeles Lakers 121-103 to take a 3-2 lead in the World Championship Series. And we'll be back to Boston Garden in just a moment.
Lakers, and now the Lakers will take the series back to the Forum on Sunday afternoon, where they hope to get even. But then they'll come back here to the Boston Garden, where they must win. And you can hear this crowd, the home crowd, Kevin Lockery, and I really felt there was a tremendous advantage.
It sure is. In this heat, it's a terrific advantage. If it goes 7, it would be a heck of an advantage for Boston.
All right, and the man who has come back here to lead this team, K.C. Jones, is standing by with Pat O'Brien. Let's go to Pat.
Thank you, Brent. K.C. Jones just told me it was a sweet win. I guess so.
A very nice and a very, very sweet victory.
How did the heat affect your ball club, Casey? Obviously not.
Larry Bird was totally dehydrated out there. I had to take him out in the fourth quarter to let him get a blow because he was getting a little dizzy. That was my purpose of taking him out. Then I gave him a little blow, and I said, get back in there. But the heat affected both teams something awful.
How were you able to shake Larry Bird loose tonight? And DJ had a great job against Magic Johnson.
We had to have more ball movement. We tried to post up Larry in the game before. Nothing was going because Cooper was doing such a good job. So we had to make an effort to create some ball movement whereby he can get a pick and he could get open.
Here's the question that everyone's going to ask you. How do you keep your team straight now? Keep them from not getting complacent, moving on to Sunday.
That's very easy. We've got another ball game out there Sunday, and that's a championship game. It's a championship game for them. There's no celebration at all. We need to win the next ball game, and that is the most important.
Go drink some water. Congratulations. Let's go back to Brent Musburger.
All right, Pat O'Brien, thank you very much. We hope you've enjoyed the action tonight. We certainly did. I'm Brent Musburger, along with Dick Stockton, Tom Heinsohn, Pat O'Brien, and Kevin Lockery saying so long from the Boston Garden, where the final score was 121-103.